Hey guys, my name is Ben Howard. We're out here at Holston Creek Reds to play around with some weird discs out of my collection. These are all discs that I bought to make reviews with or make videos with individually, but I figured it'd be more fun to put them all together one round. I figured the video would probably do better. It's also just nice to have some variety and not throw the same disc over and over again in one video. But yeah, we'll go through the discs real quick in order of least weird to most weird. The least weird one I've got today is the Spider. This one is pretty normal mid-range, but where it's weird is something you can see in its flight numbers, where how I've heard this disc described is a gator that doesn't have the overstability but has like the no glide basically. So I'm really interested to throw this because it doesn't feel like a lot of other mid ranges. It feels like almost like a fairway driver with how wide this wing is. But yeah, so we got the Spider. Then we've got the Turbulence, which is probably the most popular disc that's going to be in this video. If you haven't seen anything about this, they basically took a 7-speed and gave it like the Berg top, kind of. It's not even really like the Berg or the Range's groove track. It feels more like a groove track really, instead of it being just like a big valley. I can see what people are talking about though. This feels amazing in a forehand grip. Doesn't feel great backhanded because like the hump is like right where I want to put my thumb. But I do like discs like this a lot, where you've got a really slow disc with a ton of overstability. So if you throw it hard, you're able to kind of overpower that overstability, get it to fly straighter but have an overstable finish. Or you can power down on it and have it be really overstable really quick. And then finally, we've got the Cyber Putter from Doomsday Disc. And as you can tell, this one's very weird. But they went for a similar design to the Discmania Mutant, where it's all straight edges. The one thing I really don't like about this disc, though, is for some reason they decided to give it a bead, which is basically just a blade. Like, it's just a knife's edge. It's not as bad as, like, Prodigy flashing, but it's. But if I played a full round with these discs, I probably would have something like the skin peeled off, like on the side of my pointer finger, just from throwing it and having that constant sliding motion on that part of my skin. Yeah, so this should be a ton of fun. If you're interested in winning one of these discs, you can stay tuned to the end of the video where I'll be giving them away. But yeah, let's go and get in the round, see how these discs fly. All right, guys, for hole one, we've got a par 3, 192 feet. It can be tough to get all the way down there because, as you can tell, the ground's sloping up towards the basket, and we have a low ceiling, so really have to hit like a coin slot to get all the way up there. But let's see. I'll probably end up just throwing all of them just to get warmed up, but we'll throw the. I'll go with the Turbulence on a forehand as my main shot, and then we'll throw the rest of these guys. Oh man, I thought I threw that perfect. But I can definitely see what people are talking about. That feels great for a forehand. Let's see. We'll go Spider down the right side on a backhand now. Oh, right down the middle. Okay, see what people are talking about. It's not crazy overstable, but it definitely has some beef to it. And I can see, yeah, didn't feel like it had a ton of glide, but it's hard to tell on a low ceiling shot like this. For the Cyber, I guess we'll go the similar line. Try and go just to the right side of that tree. That's pretty beefy. Wow, they didn't go anywhere. I'm gonna throw this one to the left side of that tree on some Anheuser. See how that works out. Oh, yeah. Well, still have the skin on my finger, but that definitely does hurt more than it should. Looks like I'm gonna have to use the Turbulence again, but I actually have a little forehand skip shot out of here. Might be actually save my par. Oh yeah, that's button. I will say, I do really like that really flat edge for a place to put my pointer finger when I'm putting. So, who knows? I might just have to take a file to the bottom. Maybe this will turn into a good putter. All right, guys, for hole two, got a par 3, 250 feet. Basket's down here tucked off to the right. pretty much have to throw like a low forehand skip shot. So be a great time for the turbulence. You got to be careful. And I try not to grip lock it like I did in the last hole. Oh, that should be really good. Ooh, that should at least be putting. Okay, so I was right. I'm giving myself a 20 footer, maybe even less than that. But this tree is just always perfectly in the way every time I get into the circle in this hole. I'm trying to do like a little stabby Anheuser putt. Oh, there we go. Nice. All right, guys, we're on hole 3. This one's a par 3, 240 feet. Basket straight ahead through this tunnel. I'm going to throw the turbulence and the spider on a forehand on this one, see how they react. I'd like to try a backhand on this one, but you need to like throw something kind of flippy, and neither one of these discs are going to do that. So I'll go with the turbulence as my main shot again, but then we'll try the spider. Oh, if that was higher, that'd be perfect. Okay, that's still like edge of circle, maybe a little bit closer. That thing's definitely not as overstable as I was thinking it was going to be, though. Yeah, that's more what I expected it to fly like. But that handled the forehand really well. Good grief. The cybers are, or I don't know what you call it, I guess cyber putter is the name. Whatever they are great putters. All right, guys, for hole 4, we got a par 4 at 441 feet. Basket just straight ahead, going pretty far uphill. This is slowly just turning into a turbulence only round because that's going to be thrown off the tee again. This time I'll be throwing it backhanded out to the right. Let the overstability hopefully carry it back to the left. We do have a little bit of a, I think it's a cross left to right wind, so I think this would be fine. If anything, they'll just keep the disc from coming back and going to the tall grass on the left, but see how it handles a hard backhand. Yeah, I got smashed by that wind. I did not get very far at all, but I can get up and down from there. Okay, so we're a little bit closer than I was thinking off the tee. Probably got another, maybe right at 200 feet into the green. So we'll go with the spider. We still have that same crosswind, so I'll probably just throw it flat out to the right. Let the overstability carry it back to the left. Just gotta make sure I throw it higher, and I think I need to. That's why. Ooh, okay. Okay, that's like a 15 footer, but it's that close to being like an 80 footer. All right, guys, for hole 5, we've got a par 4 at 350 feet. Don't let that fool you, though. This is the hardest par 4 I've ever played. That's under 400 feet. Off the tee, when you get through this tunnel, out into the opening you see in front of us. From there, we have 2 gaps that lead towards the basket, and they're both tunnel shots. So you really need to land in very specific spots. If I don't land in a great spot, I'll probably have to go over the top with some kind of spike hyzer forehand or backhand. But once we get through those gaps, we're going downhill to the basket, which is on a sloped green with OB directly behind it. So there's a lot that can go wrong on this hole. I've never birdied this hole before, so let's go ahead and do it now. Okay. Okay, that should be lined up with the first gap, which is a better gap because I'm going to have a straight shot into the green from there, but still going to be a very touchy shot. Okay, so I am lined up with this first gap. It looks like they actually kind of cleared it out, aside from the tree branch that's hanging out. That's a lot lower than it normally is, so got a really low ceiling on top of a really touchy approach shot. But we'll go with the cyber putter, whatever you want to call this thing. Just do a similar shot to what I did on hole 1. A little bit of ante out of the hand, let it flex, hopefully land soft. Yeah, it got caught up in that grass. I'll have a putt at it though. One of the best looks at birdie I've ever had on this hole. Nope. Golly, that thing is so overstable. These are some of the few putters I've ever found that are actually more overstable than my Waymakers. Which, granted, my Waymakers are really beat up, but even then, I've never felt anything that's this stable as a putter. All right, guys, for hole 6, got a par 3, 181 feet. Basket's just straight ahead of us. Tucked slightly off to the right, but it's a perfect hole to try these discs out in forehands. I mean, I have thrown the Turbulence and the Spider on a forehand, but I do want to try the Cyber on a forehand. Granted, I might lose some more skin on my pointer finger by doing this, but that's why we're only going to do it once. But my main shot's going to be with the Spider, because I don't really trust myself to power down on the Turbulence as much and still hit this line. But I feel like I can throw the Spider just like I did last time, and it'll be fine. Whew, barely got past that. Okay, and that's out in the open, so that'll be probably like just outside of circle 1. That turned more than I thought it was going to. It's interesting. We'll do the Turbulence next. Oh, I got lucky. There we go. And for the Cyber. Oh. Unfortunately, that was like the best shot, but that hurt a lot. I don't know why I thought I could just putt straight through the branches. All right, guys, for hole 7, a par 3 at 263 feet. Basket straight ahead. Biggest thing to pay attention to is the pavement all around, and the short grass short of the basket marks the out of bounds. And this place is an island green, so if I don't cross inbounds, I take it from the drop zone, which is like off to the left side of the basket. But you gotta empty the bag on this hole. Since we have a tailwind, I'm gonna go with the Cyber as my main shot. We'll go with the yellow one as my main shot, so it's easier to see. Get in. Oh, okay. Wow. I didn't expect you to push that straight that long. Wow. Nope, pulled that one. Oh, dang, through that tree. Actually, that probably saved it from about as long. All right. Let's run it with these other two. Nope, that's too high. That's the wind drop. Oh, yeah, it did. Nice. Oh, boy. Pull that. Oh, it's fighting back to the left harder than I thought it would. Still out of bounds long, though. Oh, dang. I'm getting a surprising amount of pop out of these things. Normally, I don't like super flat top putters, especially in this like stiffer kind of slick plastic. Because a lot of times my thumb just tends to slip off, but I mean, this plastic is pretty grippy, so maybe that's why. All right, guys, for hole 8, got a par 4 at 400 feet. Basket's out here, tucked off to the right. Biggest thing to pay attention to, though, is the OB cart path on the right. So I'm just going to throw flat shot with the Turbulence, let it spike in the side of the hill, and then throw some kind of hyzer approach shot into the green from there. It's early. Ooh, sit please. Uh-oh. Okay, so luckily I'm not too far in the woods, but I don't think I'm going to be able to get some right on the side of this Bradford pear, so I'm not going to try to do anything aggressive, especially since I'm having to throw a forehand with OB on the right. That should be fine as long as it doesn't roll. Yeah. That'll actually be like a long putt at it. Okay, yeah, so we're a lot closer than I was thinking. It's not going to be a great putt to run because we got nothing behind the basket and we're putting into a headwind, so this is probably going to get lifted. But this thing's so stable. Should fly like my Waymakers. Stay up. Ooh, wow. I thought it would fade faster than that. Dang. Nice. Alright guys, we're on hole 9. Final hole of the video. This one's a par 3, 260 feet. You see the basket straight ahead between these two trees right here. I'm just going to throw the turbulence on a forehand at the trees on the left. See if I can get the fade out in front of them. Gotta be careful though, because there is a pretty stiff headwind. Well, I got a right to left headwind, so it should help a little bit, but I think I can just throw the turbulence flat. It should be fine. I didn't throw it far enough. Well, okay. That's like circle's edge short, maybe. All right, gotta thread the needle on this one. Right through there. Ooh. It looked like I was gonna pop out or something. All right, guys, that finishes up our round with our weird discs. To go back through them in the same order I first talked about them. Spider, not that weird. I mean, yeah, like this is. I think it's a pretty unique mid range. Like I've never really thrown one that's quite like this straight out of the box, but like it's just a beat in version of like overstable mid range, or maybe something more like a pyro, where it's like it does have a really reliable overstable finish, very torque resistant, but it's not going to be like a Gator or Justice. It's going to have some push before it has the overstable finish. I'm surprised Innova hasn't really brought this one back, because I don't really feel like they have a disc in their lineup that's like this one, but yeah, didn't really belong on here with these other weird discs. And for the turbulence, this thing's awesome. Like I had so much fun with this thing, and I don't know if it's just the way that that groove track really just fits in my hand, or if it's just the stability of this disc. I mean, it's probably a combination of both, but I really liked how this thing felt in my hand, how it flew, just everything about it. Only thing I didn't like was how it felt in my backhand, because like I said, it messes with my thumb placement. Crazy thing is too, this is actually, yeah, 165, so this is actually kind of light for turbulence. So you could find some max weight ones that might be a little bit more stable. But yeah, I mean, this thing's awesome. Just basically like a 7-speed approach disc. And finally, we've got these cyber putters. These things were a lot more fun than I was expecting. Granted, it still hurts every time you throw them, but I mean, honestly, if you did just play a round or two with them, you'd probably knock that edge off and it wouldn't be too bad. But I love the stability of these things, because they're so low profile that they kind of cut through the air and will give you a nice amount of push or a nice amount of glide. I guess it's just that blunt edge and having a little bit of a bead gives them a really nice amount of overstability, to where like I said, they're very similar to my Waymakers. And my Waymakers are some of the more overstable putters I've ever thrown that aren't, like zone type discs or approach type discs. So yeah, Doomsday can like kind of clean these up, and dude, these things are in a premium plastic. These things would be nasty, but yeah, take like we don't need the Prodigy flashing on the bottom, please. But yeah, that's pretty much everything. So if y'all are interested in winning one of these discs, I need you to go down, like, subscribe, and tell me which one of these discs y'all want down in the comments. And if you pick the cyber putters, I'll send you both of them. And then a week from today, I'll pick one of y'all out, send these discs out to you. If y'all have any other recommendations for discs I should try, if y'all have any other recommendations for videos at all, please let me know down in the comments. But thank y'all so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, and y'all have a good one.